everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
I am Janae Strother.
I'm Sean Spencer.
Back.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man looks so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right. I am Janae Strother.
I am Sean Spencer.
And this is Let's Talk Football.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to ya. And you know who I'm with here on the Roundtable, the host of Diversity with Delilah, Crespo. Yeah. And my guy, Mr. I Want to Smoke, Nicholas Rosario.
Thank you so much. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Big Nick. Yes, sir. And welcome to Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. Ladies and gentlemen, it is here. Week 18 is finally done. The regular season is over. It came down to the wire. The absolute wire. We will definitely dive into that a little bit. We're going to talk playoffs. We're going to talk about the NFL superlatives, MVP, defensive MVP, rookie of the year, comeback player of the year. But before we do that, I want to send it over to Nicholas Rosario. Recently, a good friend and mentor passed away, Nick. Jeff Burke, man. Go ahead, buddy.
This was a tough one for me. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, we all have teachers. I think we all went to school. We all went to, and you all have. It's always like that one teacher that really you gravitate towards, or that really inspires you, or really it affects your life. And Jeff Burke was definitely that man for me. I met him in September of 1990, my senior year. I wanted to go out for drama, of course, because that's all I had done in high school before I got there. I went to 2 high schools, so I was at another high school before that. So I go up there to meet the man. I just said, hey, I'd like to join your drama thing. And he's like, oh, okay, sure, blah, blah. And through that, I joined his speech team. So I spent many a day and night practicing with him and getting my stuff down to the point where, we made it to state finals as a team. So that was, we were actually the only Chicago public school to compete in statewide speech competition.
Nice.
So we were the only public school at that time that made it to state finals, and it was a big deal. We got to go to ISU, Illinois State University, do the whole thing. We had a whole trip, but just those sorts of things, and then Jeff, we just stayed friends. I would help out sometimes with speech. I would help out sometimes with the musicals that we did. Jeff finally retired. And he was just one of those guys who gave his all to the teaching profession. And I think that's why it's so important to salute our teachers, honestly, because they give of themselves tremendously, not just during the classroom, not just what you see from 9 to 3 or whatever. These people give their lives outside of it, too. I mean, Jeff was never, didn't marry until after he retired. He literally, teaching was we were his kids. Literally, he would call us his kids. Because that's what he had. That's what he did. He worked so hard at doing all of this stuff and again, at 31 years, I've known the man. We were friends. We've had talks. We've had this, he's seen me when I was down. He helped lift me up. The countless talks, meals, whatever, just a great man. And the last time I saw him was December 8th. And I had a nice little small conversation with him before he left with his wife for that evening. And again, I'm a big guy. And he said to me, he's like, Nick, he's like, he was just telling me, he's like, you're a good guy. He's like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, next time I see you, I want to see 20 pounds gone. And I said, you got it, Mr. Burke. And his big smile. So yeah, just to know that he's no longer here with me or with us. I mean, our whole drama group as a whole. I mean, I've got lifelong friends out of this thing. I've had friends for 30 years because of him. So again, I just wanted to say, appreciate you letting me have this time to, say goodbye to Jeff. Totally thank him for all he's done for me in my life. I probably would. Again, we all have our parents and we all have our people who are our support system, but there's always someone outside of your family who you always kind of have that one person, and Jeff was that one person for me, and I will dearly miss him. I truly will, because I always enjoyed talking to him. We laugh about everything. We talk a little sports. He was a big golfer. He liked golf, but we talk everything now and then. Movies. He was a big horror movie person, so we talked a lot of stuff like that also. So I just rest in peace, Jeff. I really hope that you were loved by many. We will definitely miss you, and just thank you for all that you did for me. Thank you.
Rest in peace. And to pay homage to Jeff, we're gonna have a little moment of silence. You will be missed, man. You will be missed.
Thank you.
Whew. All right. So we are going to move on, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, the playoffs are here. They are literally this coming weekend. I am so excited, but with one season coming to an end, there was another season that ended last night. Finally, the Georgia Bulldogs get over the hump 41 years after their last title for the great Herschel Walker. Georgia beats Alabama 33-18, and we all know the person we're bringing in, Mr. Anthony Handy, who has been waiting. Anthony, what's up, man?
I am very happy to be here.
Right. Exactly.
Let's go.
I'm sure you are, my brother. I'm sure you are.
And I'm my priestly robes on fleek. Yes. I'm happy, man. Like I was telling you guys before we came on, I've had about an hour and a half worth of sleep since yesterday, and I was up early yesterday at like 4:45. I was like a kid on Christmas Day. All I wanted to do was get through my workday, log off, get the food and stuff set up so I could sit down and chill and watch the game. I must have paced the floor and screamed at the TV, and I'm going outside to smoke a cigarette, coming back in and watching the guy. Just the whole game. When Keely Ringo got that interception for that pick six, I was he was running, Kirby was running along the sidelines, and I was running behind the both of them, running by the TV, like run, Keely! Like I was running like Sealy was running after Nettie. Nettie! I mean, I joke, but that's just the level of intensity. Like I was so loud, I was calling the dogs with every kickoff and doing the crowd chants when the band was playing. So loud that my daughter retired to her room and then my wife's son retired to his room. Now I don't know how in the hell my wife managed to go to sleep during the middle of all of that, but at one point it was just me and the TV. And I can't explain it. It hasn't hit home for me yet. It's almost like I told y'all I've only had an hour and a half worth of sleep. It's almost like I'm gonna wake up and it'd be like, oh, the game's it's still Monday. Oh man, this was the best dream ever. You know what I mean? But I did get emotional. I did say if we won, I would get emotional. I got emotional. 41 years is a long time. I was 9 years old, man.
Wow, yes.
Yeah. And to see the team that I love come so close, the Aaron Murray years, that was, the Mark Richt, that was the Aaron Murray years, and Matthew Stafford. And then, with Jake Fromm 4 years ago to get that close.
Yeah, bro.
Like Bill Cosby said, you get beat within an inch of your life. He said, "You mean you're gonna beat me till I'm that close and then stop?" So it's to get that close and not get there time and time again, and you just kind of go, "Well, we just gonna put Georgia on the shelf for Atlanta." They'll get us excited and let us down. And it finally sank in when Alabama got the ball back with like 40 seconds left. And the crowd started counting down 5, 4, 3. And you guys saw the video that I put out on. I had to catch myself because I was almost like I I was almost like Sally Fields giving the Oscar speech. You like me. You really like me. I had to suck it in. But yeah, my dogs are now the 2021 national champions. And we can say that. So then what that has done is now we can take 1980 and we could, because one time 1980 meant something. That was Herschel. That was Vince Dooley. Now you could take it and brush it off and put it back on the shelf instead of it being an insult. And we could throw second and 26. Well, we won't ever be able to get by second and 26, but that won't hurt as bad anymore. Right. And on top of that, not only did we win, but we won by beating Bama. So we killed two birds with one stone.
Right, that's true. You get that monkey off the back, as they say.
Oh my God! I was looking at I was watching the game like I said, baby, is this the same defense was in the conference championship? This don't look like the same defense was in the conference championship. Right. We played the same team, right? They look the same, but yeah, it's.
Well, Anthony, just because what I found amazing about this whole story, and obviously you know this because this is your team, but the fact that Stetson Bennett was a walk-on. And the guy has taken this team on his back. And again, there was times he didn't play well this year. There was a lot of questions about it.
Especially the first half. Yeah, you should have seen me in the third quarter.
Right.
I turned into one of those people I hate. I swear to God, if Kirby Smart don't sit here, you know what, on the bench and put in JT Daniels.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a kid who took a lot of crap this year, especially, like you said, a month ago when you played Bama in the conference championship. Didn't make a great showing for himself. And a lot of people were like, oh, man, is Stetson Bennett going to step up, going to be able – and so to me, this is a great story. Like, the kid gets an MVP award. He's a walk-on to begin with, and now he's a national champion. So to me, it's hard to write a better story than that. So, I mean, I just say
I think what they're talking about, yeah.
Right. I'm very happy for you and your Bulldogs. I always like to see a new – even though the Bulldogs are always around, it's nice to see a new team win and kind of get – or a good story like that, where, like I said, this kid walked on at Georgia, and now he's a national champion. So, congratulations to you and the Bulldogs. Fantastic.
Thank you much. And not only that, now he is Sean. Remember when you and I talked about another quarterback at another school that didn't win their conference championship? They coach. We won't say which one, but their coach left and went to California. And we said if that guy stayed. If that guy stayed as the quarterback and led that team to a championship, how that he could write his own story at Oklahoma. Well, that wound up not being the case. But this kid, he's not going to do great things in the league. But the thing that I admire about this kid is there is no quit in that kid. In the era with the transfer portal and NIL, I guarantee you some small school somewhere would have given him high 5 figures, low 6 figures to come and sling the ball around for them. And he could have started and not have to deal with any of the pressures of being the starting quarterback of an SEC blue blood program. Right. And he said, I'm going to ride this out and see where this goes. This is where I started. This is where I'm going to end it. And that fourth quarter, he sacked up and came back and made things happen. And so
he ended it.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. So yeah, and the moment, the thing that got me the most, besides the fact that we won, was the moment when Kirby Smart was shaking hands with Vince Dooley at midfield. Oh man.
Look like you're getting emotional now just thinking about it.
No.
Yeah, a little bit, because I remember how they carried Vince Dooley off the field when they won that title. And Vince Dooley is people take pictures with Vince Dooley. Vince Dooley is almost as much of a legend in Athens as Keanu Reeves is every place. So people are like, oh my God, I saw Keanu Reeves. And he took a picture with me and he put his hands way out here while I stood in front of him. Because Keanu does that thing. It's like, you ain't catching me. But Vince Dooley is that much of a legend. And so to see those two at midfield and be like, I lived to see this, because I have friends that some of which are no longer with us due to COVID. That were Georgia fans that were all sorts of in their feelings when we lost that last game. It's like, if nothing else, I just want to see the Dogs win another championship before I die. They didn't get to see it. So, and especially Big Dog Woods. I don't know if you're familiar. The older guy that used to paint the bulldog on his head and be at all the games. He passed away a couple years ago. Now his son continues the tradition. So that was probably a moving moment for his son. Anyway, I'm gonna take up the whole show. I've been talking for like 7 minutes. So I think I done took my time up. So Auntie Maxine is standing up, getting ready to bang her gavel and say she's reclaiming her time.
Auntie Maxine. Yeah, man, that was a great. It was absolutely a great thing. You got over the hump, and you beat Alabama. You beat the one that you wanted to beat. I know you and Colin. Shout out to Colin, the other host of This Week in SEC. I already know. I've seen everything he's posted and put up there. Saw your video, man. It is truly, truly a blessing to I know for you to experience this, because this is something that you've been talking about all year, man.
I've been talking about it for 41 years. What you talking about?
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, and I apologize for that. Yeah, you've been talking about it since the day I met you, which has only been a year, but yeah, but for 41 years, you absolutely have been. I know.
Let me lay this down for you for perspective, and then I'm gonna step back, and we can segue me out. When the Dogs last won the championship, I was 7 years away from being able to drive. I was 6 years away from legally being able to work. I was 9 years away from being able to vote, buy cigarettes, and I was 12 years away from being able to purchase cigarettes. Wait a minute. Yeah, something like that. And now on the day after they won their next championship, I am almost 3 years shy of being able to start getting senior citizens discounts and having an AARP tertiary membership.
There you go.
So
perspective.
Yeah.
Right, perspective, baby.
Yeah. Jimmy Carter was president. Yeah. Jimmy Carter was president.
Yeah, that was the year Reagan won the election, 80. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. He hadn't been inaugurated yet though, because he won the election in November. The inauguration was later that month. So Jimmy Carter was still president. Yeah. But anyway, you get what I'm getting at.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That's just to show you, right? That's perspective for you, right?
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Hey, but ladies and gentlemen, absolutely, you're gonna want to check out Anthony Handy. When are you guys still going anymore? Or are you guys gonna wait till next year?
Yes, we're gonna keep going. We just ended season 1 earlier today. We start season 2 next week.
Nice. Absolutely. There we go. So definitely check out Anthony Handy and This Week in the SEC. They are talking everything SEC, also Oklahoma and Texas, because they are soon to be in the SEC. Man, you guys, if you have not checked this out, definitely.
I did that out loud.
Oh yeah. No, so definitely check them out, Anthony. Let them know where to check you guys out at.
Okay, you can check our shows out. You can check out the replays on the ZagNIF 1 YouTube channel. You can check out the actual live plays on the ZagNIF 1 streaming network right here on Facebook. And that's about it, because we haven't we're working on getting the radio thing. We're still working on that because we're still waiting on a license.
But you have a shirt though. Don't you have a shirt that you just made for yesterday about the championship?
Oh, the shirt that we just made about the championship. Yes, sir. What about that you want to know?
Oh, I mean, if anybody wanted to get it, could they?
My bad.
I'm trying to help you out.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. You talking about? I thought you were talking about.
You messaged me earlier today, saying it. I was like, oh, what's perfect? I'll bring it up on the show.
Do you want to make sales?
I told you.
You said it was limited edition.
Right.
He ain't slept, ladies and gentlemen. He has not slept. So, hey,
thank you. See, I'm looking off camera. You actually over here. What am I doing? Yes, we did make some lovely T-shirts. It says it's got the bulldog on it. It says we did what they couldn't do, and the 2022 right in the middle, all in the Georgia red and black. You can find it at. Do you have the chat, Sean?
If you send it, you put it in the chat or send it to me, and I'll see if I can post it up here.
Because I don't have access to the actual public chat, so I'll send it in the private chat.
Yeah, we only have access to private. Yeah.
Okay.
But the website is tinyurl.com/20 2022 UGA did it.
There we go.
Did
I
it.
can dig it. I can dig it. UGA did it. Put it in here. Good. I'll
And
try to
they-
share that.
And they are selling, bro. That's our hottest seller. I thought the Bama t-shirts were going to do pretty well, but nobody was really interested in those. And now that they lost, I don't think we're going to sell it a whole lot of them.
Right.
No.
But I got
Nah.
people from all over hitting me up right now. Like, yo, where do I get the shirts?
Are you
Kyle-
gonna do what always happens and donate them to like needy kids or whatever?
Nah,
Yeah,
nah.
Take the box of reject t-shirts and send them overseas, and then
That's where the 2022 Alabama national championship shirts are going.
right?
Mhm. Hey,
I mean, I'm not trying to-
here's what you need, ladies and gentlemen. Copy this off the screen. This is where you can go get it at. Let's make it sell out, ladies and gentlemen. It is a good shirt, and you still also got to do the other shirts. Bama does what they do, because that's a great catchphrase.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we might put it to put it to rest until who's that? It says who's the Facebook user there?
that's Sydney.
Okay, hey Sid. I can't. Yeah, we anyway. We're probably gonna put the Bama shirt on mothballs for a little bit and let them not be salty for a while.
Right.
But the Georgia shirts are gonna be. We're gonna sell those and we're gonna see how they're going. As long as listen, this is what I'm gonna do. I initially planned to only sell them through the end of February, but as long as they're selling, and you guys, if you know somebody that's a Georgia fan, spread the word. If you're not interested, send them a link and tell them, hey, our guy is doing these shirts. You need to grab yourself one. As long as they continue to sell, I will put them out there. But if the sales start drying up, we'll put them on mothballs and we'll break them back out about a couple of months before the season starts. Because that's the two times when people buy the championship gear is right after the championship and right before the next season starts.
Next season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good point.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank
Again,
you.
Congratulations.
I
And
appreciate
definitely,
you.
ladies and gentlemen, go out and buy the shirt. Go out and buy the shirt. It's quality. Let's get it.
Go Dogs! Sick 'em!
Yes, sir. Yes,
There
sir.
goes.
Thanks,
There
Anthony. We'll
goes.
see you soon. Hey, next
All right, buddy.
Monday at 6:30, right? You guys are 6:30.
Yes,
Right,
sir.
6:30 on Monday. There you go. Check them out, man. It's good stuff. See you, bud. Already. Hey, as we've seen, back to the NFL, the playoffs are set. Ladies and gentlemen, they are here. Some teams got in we didn't expect. Some teams by the skin of their teeth. But before we go there, we have to talk about what precipitated that whole situation. That week 18 in the NFL was absolutely crazy, and a lot of it stemmed around the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sydney, I know you love that. But first and foremost, like the Jacksonville Jaguars, you played, 4 or 5 decent games all year, and all of a sudden you say, I mean, come on now. What were you guys thinking when you saw that, man?
Go ahead,
I
Delilah.
was like, honestly, we're all picking Colts. We also said anything could happen. Right? We're like, I don't expect it to be a blow, right? Like, if Jacksonville wins, right? I think they were going to win. But 11. 11.
I can't believe it. They yeah.
Oh my God! Honestly, the defensive job and the offense. I'm the capitalize.
Hey, Delilah, hey, you're a little choppy again.
Okay, so no, I'm not. I just didn't think about kudos to beating the Colts and keeping them playoffs. Still got the number one because the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So,
Yeah.
was-
Nick,
Yeah, well,
And then they got
Sean, we talked on our preview show, and I actually,
you called it out, man.
yeah, I just said, like, and you asked me why, and as I said, it was just one of those, maybe it was a feeling or whatever. Like I told you, I know I've been critical of Carson Wentz this year on many of occasions, and we've talked before previously on the show about, will the Colts make the playoffs? And I said they'll only go as far as Carson will take them.
You're absolutely right.
And that proved to be right. Not that I'm some great prognosticator, but that's right. And that's what I felt, and that's what I thought. And sure enough, when the Jaguars went up early, you just thought to yourself, all right, let's see how Carson Wentz responds to this. And he didn't respond very well. He had a couple interceptions in that game. He didn't look, and you would think, here's a veteran quarterback who has been in the playoffs before, or, who's been there before. He's a veteran guy. Like, how do you not come out ready to play in this game? I just, and that's why I say I still think Carson Wentz is going through some stuff, whatever it is. And I just think he's not reliable when it comes to, again, obviously over a whole season, you're going to play and you're going to win some games. But when it came right down to it, man, when his team really needed him, he fell flat on his face.
Yeah.
And that's just one of those things where, you can laugh at the Jaguars winning, but Trevor Lawrence had one of his best games.
He did.
Right.
He threw for like 200-something yards. He had 2 touchdown passes. No picks that I remember. Like, so
No.
this is what I'm saying. Like, the kid, I look for good things from Jacksonville in 2-3 years, maybe. We'll see how they draft in the next couple of years, see how they do. We won't be talking about them just yet. But it was very disappointing with everything that the Colts had going for them in terms of offensive line, the weapons on offense with Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman. You still had T.Y. Hilton.
Right.
You had, you still had, Naeem Hines would come out and back up Taylor. Like, you had every opportunity to make the playoffs, and it just didn't happen. Yeah. And so again, Frank Reich said that, they said they're not going to get rid of Frank Reich. People are like, oh, does this mean Frank Reich should be fired? I don't think so either. Because I think Frank put, there was, you still have to play the game, right? I know we blame, the quarterback gets the glory, gets the thing and all that, and then the coaches are the scapegoat. But I think in this case, Frank put him in a position to win at times, and it just didn't come through. And that's so
you got to play. You got to play the game.
Great. Yeah. So that's all. And in the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, you got to play the game. No, you're good. You good, Delilah?
Yeah, my audio was breaking up. As I was saying, I think honestly they kept the Colts to 11 points, right?
Yep.
And not only did they win, they also got the number 1 pick in the draft. Because
Detroit, come on,
Detroit
guys.
decided that they didn't need that. So
I think they wanted to beat the Packers, maybe. This is one of those things they got caught
listen, I agree with everyone that's saying that Wentz really did drop the ball on that. I mean, he had an interception and a forced fumble. To be fair, the Jacksonville defense showed up.
Right.
Like they showed up. And to do this when fans dressed as clowns too, listen, like, I mean, come on, like that is hella embarrassing. Like these fans, the fans were expecting the Jags to lose. Think about that. Like Jacksonville fans went in, they're going, yeah, we're gonna lose this, right? And then the craziness happened, which is why, this is why I like sports in general, right? We just don't know. Sometimes
I love chaos.
Yep.
Sometimes things like this happen, and you're like, kudos to Sydney and his Steelers. Y'all should send a fruit basket. One of those teams.
Right.
Either you could take them out for steaks, or rub salt in the wound and set fruit baskets to the Colts for losing.
Right.
It's the choice is yours. But man,
they got to do something. They got to send them something, man. But you're right. They absolutely laid an egg. But again, Pittsburgh was one of those teams that that's what they needed coming in. They needed a win. They needed the Colts to either tie or lose, and they needed the last game not to be a tie. They got right. They did their part. They didn't make it look easy. They just barely beat a depleted Ravens team, but that is definitely an AFC North divisional matchup. So we know how tight those are, regardless of who's playing. But they were sweating. And Sydney, I've talked to you about this. You guys were sweating to the very last possible second of the game. Because at one point I was sitting there saying, at one point when they went to overtime, I was saying, look, if I'm the Chargers coach or the Raiders coach, I'm looking over the other side and saying, let's just take some knees. Who cares about the Steelers? Let's go to the playoffs.
8 seconds left.
Yeah,
was the deciding factor in that game.
So my question is, when the Raiders are driving late in the game,
yes,
and they're driving down the field and they're not looking like they care about stopping the clock. Why did the Chargers call the timeout?
Everybody's questioning that.
Well, if you want my opinion, it's just my opinion, of course. I think it was at that point. Okay, they were at the 40-yard line. You got 38 seconds left when Staley calls the timeout. Now here's the thing. Seriously, I kind of understand why he did it, even though it looked like, oh yeah, the Raiders aren't going to do anything, blah 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 blah. You're in this game to win, aren't you? Like, I'm being very serious. Like, you don't want to tie to get into the playoffs or take the chance that something goes wrong. Like, you want to win the game. As far, I mean, again, just by most what people say. And I think Staley got in his head that win. They're at the 40-yard line. They're within a field goal range if they get any closer. I want to make sure I got the right defense on the field. I'm calling a timeout to make sure and just see what they're going to do. Now, think about this. Again, I could be wrong. Like, the Raiders could have been thinking, yeah, we'll just run this out and it'll be fine. And we'll never know that now because, David Carr could say, well, yeah, we were playing to win the whole time. There was never a question of what we're going to do. But then on the very next play, you called the timeout fine, but then you let Josh Jacobs run for 10 yards right up the middle to get them to the 30 to make sure that they were even – now they're in field goal range.
Yep.
And so you're going to kick a 47-yarder with – and then they let the time go down, of course, to like 2 seconds. Boom. Call the timeout.
Well, I think what they're saying is right, that they were getting gashed in the running game. And even though I don't think it would have gotten enough yards rushing prior to that, I think the timeout actually kind of gave them a little time to rest. So they were able, because you remember, like you said, they got that first down after they called the timeout, and that changed everything. Because if they stopped them right there, I believe that was third down. If they stopped them, then they're talking like they're talking like a 60-yard field goal. That changes everything. So, I mean, obviously, our job is to kind of go back and forth and see what they did and to question these. But at the end of the day, they get in there, they kick the field goal, the Chargers go home, and Justin Herbert got to shout him out real quick. Justin Herbert, second in the league with 5,014 passing yards. So a shame that he's not in the playoffs, but these are the way that things. Shout out to the Raiders. They are in. And wow. And now the playoffs are set, ladies and gentlemen. They are set. We know what it is. Starting with the AFC, the number 1 seed, Tennessee, gets the bye and potentially gets Derrick Henry coming back an extra week to rest. The number 2 seed, Sydney, I know you love this. The Kansas City Chiefs are playing the number 7 seed Pittsburgh Steelers, who just got in by the skin of their teeth. The number 3 seed, the team that we've looked at all year and kind of been like, and they have come back later in the year and they get the 6th seed New England, and I think that might be the last team that they want to see. And the final is the 4 seed Cincinnati gets the 5 seed Las Vegas. Delilah, I'm coming to you. What is the game that you're most excited about?
Well, the Pittsburgh and KC, and then Rams and KC. So I want to see. Sorry, I said that backwards. I'm sorry. I'm tired too. I'm looking forward to the Sunday night game with Pittsburgh versus KC, and then the Monday night game with the Rams
and the Cardinals.
And the Cardinals. Those are the 2 games because I want to see. Like, everyone's calling KC to win, and so I've seen upsets happen. So who knows? Maybe third time's a charm, right? Because it's the third time that, even though it's the postseason, this will be the third time that KC and Pittsburgh play each other. And then, of course, we actually want to see who in the West, right? Who's going to come out on top? Is it going to be Matthew Stafford and Kupp, or is it going to be Kyler Murray, right? So can Arizona pull off that W, or will Matthew finally get the chance to move on to the second round? So those are the 2 games I'm looking forward to.
Nice, absolutely. And I'll since you mentioned before, I'll bring this up too, and I'll ask you the same question, Nick. The NFC is the number 1 seed Green Bay, who gets the bye. The 2 seed is Tampa Bay, and they're playing the 7 seed Philadelphia Eagles. The 3 seed Dallas is playing the 6 seed San Francisco, and 4 seed LA is playing, and they're in a Monday night game playing the 5 seed Arizona. Nick, which one are in both sides? Which game are you looking forward to?
Oh, all day long, Bengals Raiders, my friend. And I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
this is a game that I feel is going to tell a lot about how much the Raiders have actually improved, as they say, or have deserved their playoff win, as it were. Here's the story, guys, and the story is Derek Carr. Here's a guy who 2016 leads his team to the playoffs, but breaks his leg and doesn't get to play in the playoffs.
Right.
And that's something I think a lot of people overlook. David Carr has worked his behind off to get back to this position. And again, as a story, you root for Derek Carr. That's phenomenal. He got his team into the playoffs, regardless of how it happened. They're in, and now they got the chance to really do some damage. And and I love the Bengals. That Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Man, I hope that's the thing. I'm so torn with this game, but it's the one I want to see the most, because on one end you root for Derek Carr and the Raiders with Josh Jacobs and Hunter Renfrow and Waller and that group, and the defense is playing better. But at the same time, you're like, man, who wouldn't want to see Burrow and Chase for like 2-3 playoff games, right? Like just watching these guys go out there and light it up. And so I'm very torn on this game, but it's the game I definitely want to watch most. If I had to pick one in the NFC, I think Rams Cardinals, because again, I'm pulling for the Rams in the NFC this year. I would like to see Matthew Stafford get rewarded for what he's done this year, for finally getting a chance to break out and make the playoffs and do something. But for sure that Bengals Raiders game is the one I really, really, really am looking forward to seeing this weekend. And again, that's a 4-5 game, and so you have to remember that the lowest seed goes to Tennessee. So depending on what happens in the 2 set, again, if the Steelers manage to pull it off, then they would go to Tennessee,
which they have a victory over.
Which they have a victory, right? But if they don't do that, then if it pretty much goes to pot, the loser or the winner of the Bengals Raiders game would go to Tennessee, which I think either one of those teams could beat Tennessee. So that's why I say there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to a lot of this, and I'm just so looking forward to this weekend. I'm really excited about playoff football, but I think the 2 4-5 matchups are the two best for each of these conferences. The 4-5 matchups are the ones to watch.
Nice. No, I agree. I think those are going to be great games. Me personally in the NFC, definitely looking, like Ash said, what you guys want to see. I want to see that game, the 3 versus 6. I think San Francisco's playing really hot, but Dallas has been balling out. I cannot deny Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs on defense. I'm eager to see how that Michael Gallup injury affects them. But as of right now, I think that's going to be my favorite game to watch. I definitely want to see that one. And then in the AFC, got to shout out my guy, Sidney Swinton. I can't go any farther than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got in the door. Big Ben's, no pun intended, but his last ride. I really feel like this is the opportunity that he's been waiting for to potentially go out. They got a defense that has what we'll talk about is potentially the best defensive player in the league. So this is a game that I really feel like, and the way that it gets played out, if Pittsburgh wins, then they play Tennessee, who they beat. If they win, then you know what I mean? Like the way they can potentially get a situation where they're playing teams that they could beat and he can make a run. I mean, how everything is about where you get seated and who you play. That's why even those games in the last week, even though they weren't they might not have meant something as far as one team's already in, but where you lost in that last week might have knocked you down one seed or another. And now all of a sudden you're playing, a team that maybe you ain't ready for. So I think that's going to be big. I want to ask, all right, so Tampa Bay and Philly, what do you guys think?
I'm still gonna give this to Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
I know everybody's like, oh, but he lost against Philly before. I'm just like, yeah, but that was Philly with Nick Foles after Wentz injury and stuff. Like, this is Philly that also was lucky to get in. And I'm not hating on Jalen I'm not hating on Jalen, right? He put up his points. I just don't know if they can go toe for toe like that.
Yeah.
Not yet. Maybe he can in a few years as he gets better, right? Because he's not, he's doing what he's got to do for Philly. I just don't know if he can go toe to toe with Tom Brady in that way. It's gonna come down to defense, right? We always talk about that, right? I think that they're gonna have to really make sure he never gets the ball back, not even with 2 minutes. We talked about that before. Like,
that's gonna be you gotta definitely make sure he doesn't do that. You got Tampa Bay too, Nick?
Well, I do, and I want to. There's 2 things I want to say about that. Tom Brady Rob Gronkowski. When push comes to shove, those two, I mean, regardless of what you think of them,
I know.
those two are always money. Look at the Super Bowl last year. 2 touchdowns to Gronkowski. Like, that's his boy. I mean, he even stayed in the game.
Literally money. He got him paid, right?
To make sure that this guy got his $1 million incentives.
Yeah.
He stayed in the game to make sure he got it. Like, these two are money. And again, as much as Philadelphia is up and coming, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith and the boys, experience does count. And it's, again, it's hard to, I'm not picking them to win the conference championship, but I do think Tampa Bay gets by Philadelphia, and I think the big reason will be Brady to Gronkowski.
I can see that.
Yeah. All right, the 3 versus 6 game. Delilah, what you think? San Francisco and Dallas.
Dallas. I think San Francisco's gonna. Yeah. I think San Francisco will give them a run for their money, though. They're not gonna make it easy for y'all. Don't go in there thinking like that, because I've seen that happen before, and then all of a sudden losses happen. So, but I saw all the analysts. It's only -3, right? Isn't Janae? I love her, but she was saying by 10. But as far as I said, it's -3, right? That's what they're kind of.
Yeah, no, she said that was her. Did that make me crazy? Was that they're going to win by 10?
Yeah, so I don't know if they'll win by that much. But yeah, I give the win. I think they will win by maybe a field goal, though. I could see the -3.
I can see that. What do you think, Nick?
I have one name I would like to share with all of you, and his name is Deebo Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that Dallas is favored in this game, and yes, I'm more than likely going to probably go with Dallas when it's all said and done in terms of if I had to make a pick. But I'm telling you, watch out for Deebo Samuel
he's gonna
in this
show
game.
up for sure.
And that's what I'm saying. Jimmy G for all his, but when Jimmy G shows up and plays, they win. And that's the thing. You have the weapons. You have the opportunity now, Jimmy, to erase all those past doubts and all the people who say you can't play and all this and other stuff. This is your opportunity, man. You're on the big stage now. This is a huge game. And I'm telling you, I'm picking Dallas to win, but I think deep down I'm going to be wearing a San Francisco shirt underneath my overshirt. Right?
A Deebo Samuel shirt. Deebo. Or not San Francisco, but Deebo.
Right, but a Deebo Samuel shirt. Because, yeah, man,
I do like Deebo, though. I do like it.
He's playing on fire the last, and I'm just telling you, if he can get off, man, it's going to give Dallas some trouble. I mean, again,
that's what I said.
Diggs, feast or famine, right? He either gets the interception or he gets burnt.
Right.
Very true.
That's what I was saying.
All season.
I just hope that
I'm going to guess that at some point him and Deebo are going to match up. And we're going to see who wins that.
That's going to be exciting. That's going to be fun. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying to y'all Dallas fans. I'm not saying y'all can't pull off the win, but y'all got to make sure your team actually puts in, doesn't say, oh, it's going to be easy, right? And just walks in there going, oh, it's going to be easy. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say?
Has to have a great game. You got to get the running game. You got to get Zeke going early, I think.
Right.
You got to help that passing game. You just, you got to come out ready to play, man.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And Delilah, in the game that you were mentioning before, the game you're looking forward to, the winner of that game would play this one, the 4-5 game, the Rams in Arizona on the Monday night game. What do you think is going to happen there?
I'm going to give it to the Rams, but I think it's going to be just like when they faced each other before. It's going to be very close. I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I think this is going to be a low scoring game because I think both defenses are going to be covering each quarterback. So I don't think it's going to be high scoring, but I'm going to give the edge to the Rams.
Nice. Ben, Nick.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm going to go out and say what I have to say, and that I am picking the Rams to win the conference championship and go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, you're going all the way.
I think they have the team to do it now. With the defense, you get Cam Akers back. I mean, you've got Cooper Kupp. You still got Van Jefferson. You got Odell Beckham. You got Matthew Stafford. You have the team in place to make the run. Now you just have to make the run. And so I'm gonna go out on a little limb there and take the Rams. I'm not for the Arizona game, not just for the Arizona game, but I'm picking them to come out of the NFC. And again,
okay.
So I'm riding with Matthew.
Your own team?
Nice.
Yeah, well, I don't have the I don't have the Nick Snell clip, but I'm gonna roll with the Rams on this one, and yeah, let's go Matthew Stafford and the boys.
I ain't going that far. I'm just picking the Rams.
Nice. So
that's fine.
In the AFC, the Tennessee Titans get the bye week, but the 2 seed Kansas City Chiefs play the upstart 7th seed Pittsburgh. Nick, what do you think, man?
Here's my concern with Pittsburgh, and again, before Sidney Swinton comes on and tells me I'm wrong, I mean, they have to be able to protect Big Ben. That is the biggest thing. Ben needs time to get the ball out because Ben is not as mobile as he used to be. And so if he doesn't have a lot of time to throw, forget it. This game will probably end early. So Kansas City's biggest thing is to put pressure on Ben and get them to, because again, even when he's thrown to some of these guys, they've had a lot of drops. You've seen some guys are running wrong routes. Like, I just feel like Pittsburgh's been disconnected a lot of this year. And again, they won the game they had to, like you said, and then everything else fell into place for them to make the playoffs. So yeah, they kind of backed in. But I think if they're seriously going to win this game, Big Ben has to really have a good game, and they really have to step up. And Mr. Watt is going to have a nice 3 to 4 sack game because if you put pressure on Patrick Mahomes, what does he do? Folds like a card table, right? So if Watt can really get that pressure in there, and the guy's coming off on the other end as well, hey man, anything can happen. We know that, but I think Pittsburgh really has to play a pretty complete game, offense and defense, to come out on top on this one.
Yeah, definitely. Delilah, what do you think?
Again, you do have to feed Najee too. That's true.
So who are you picking to win? I'm sorry.
I'm going to pick Kansas City, but I'm just saying that Pittsburgh, in order to win, those are the things I believe they need to do.
I gotcha. Okay.
But I'm going to take Kansas City in this game, though. But yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm calling an upset, but it's not again. I think it's going to be just kind of like the Ravens game. Like, they'll probably win by
overtime.
Overtime, right? Overtime.
It might go into overtime. I could actually see that happening. And then but I think Pittsburgh will actually get past this first round. I'm not saying they'll win the AFC, but I think they'll pull the upset.
I can dig it.
I think they're gonna get the W in this one.
And Nick, the 3 seed Buffalo versus the 6 seed New England. What do you think?
Well, again, third time this year these teams are going to meet, right? And I believe it's one apiece for them. And so here we go. Number 3, the deciding game. And here's my thing with this game, though. New England has to come out and run their offense. And what I mean by that is they really have to feed the run to open up the pass. Mac Jones has to manage this game, really well for them to come out and win. I'm hoping this is the thing. I like Josh Allen. I like Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
I like Buffalo's defense. But this is a game Buffalo should come out and want to show their dominance and be like, hey, we do belong here. We won the division. We're going to take care of the Patriots, and onward we go. So I'm picking Buffalo to win this game. I am going to take Buffalo. But I'm telling you, if Mac can do that, if they can find a way to really manage the clock with the running game and then setting up the pass, they've beaten Buffalo before, and there's no reason they can't do it again. But I like Buffalo in this game. Probably not by much, though. Maybe 3-4 points.
Nice. Delilah, what do you think?
I'm calling the Bills for this one too. And I know. Yes, I 100% agree that Bill Belichick is one of the best coaches of all time. I'm not denying that. Like, he literally took his team to the playoffs, right, with a rookie. I get that.
But the Bills are too powerful, right?
I just think it also comes down to what we said before with experience. And I just think that they're going to come in with a different play, right? Because they're not going to forget the fact that they almost lost the division, right, to the Patriots, right? Got close there, got dicey there at the end. And so, and I also agree with Nick. I don't think it's going to be by much either. I think it might be low scoring too, just like when they lost when the Bills dropped the game, right, against the Patriots the first time. So, Bill Belichick is going to 100% do what he did last time with defense, right? And so the Bills need to figure out how to get their offense around that, right? They're going to have to figure out how to outplay Bill, which is hard to do. But yeah, I still give it to the Bills, and also not by much either. I don't think it's going to be by much. Maybe by 2 field goals.
About 2 field goals. Yeah, I see that. I can see that. And in the last game, the 4 seed Cincinnati versus 5 seed Las Vegas. Nick, what do you think?
Oh, this hurts my heart. This is a tough one because, again, as I mentioned before, you got the story of Derek Carr, and the Raiders have fought all year to get to this point. They battled some injuries too, and Max Crosby's playing out of his mind on defense, and they got the offense rolling. But I like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I'm sorry, the upstart Bengals. I think they're a team that could really do some damage in these playoffs if they really get rolling. And I just think again, it's so hard with these games because obviously both teams are going to do everything they can to I don't know. I'm taking Cincinnati. I'm going to take the Bengals. I don't want to get too much into this, but I think secretly I'm pulling for Vegas. I'm pulling for the Derek Carr. I'm pulling for the Derek Carr story, but I'm hoping the Bengals win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Cincinnati, and we'll see what happens.
What do you think, Delilah?
I'm going with the Bengals. I really want them to win. I really do. I don't care what people are saying. I've really been liking the way Joe Burrow has been playing this season. It's his second year, right? We forget he's a sophomore. And he doesn't even look like it, right? Like I just think I'm picking the Bengals. I want them to win, and I'm picking them to win.
I can dig it. They're the upstart team, and Joe Burrow is amazing. He is absolutely amazing. And look, one of the awards that I think we need to talk about with Joe Burrow, and this is surprising, but not really surprising. We saw the year he had and the contribution he has, and now with his boy back, Jamar Chase, this man has catapulted him into at least a conversation. But before I bring this in, I'm going to bring in my guy, Nathan Snell, host of Big Nate Talk Podcast. What up, Nate?
What's going on?
How you feeling, man? You all right?
Hanging in there. How about y'all doing?
Hey, man.
All good.
Hanging and banging like always, right?
Good.
Always good. So, hey, we're coming in. We're talking about it right away. The MVP, most valuable player. Delilah, I'm coming to you first. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Cooper Kupp, Jonathan Taylor, and I'm adding Joe Burrow all in the mix. Who is your MVP, Delilah?
Okay.
You're muted.
I was trying to avoid all the background noise. I'm going with the Triple Crown winner. I'm going with Cooper Kupp. I want it to be broken already, right? Just give it to a wide receiver. Just get it done, all right? The curse needs to be broken. I'm going to give it to the Triple Crown winner, Cooper Kupp. He more than deserved it. Like, he literally balled out this whole season, and he pulled Stafford's butt out of the water, okay? Many times we've watched these games. Like, he literally helped, we always said that it's the other way around, the quarterback. But no, this is like Kupp literally made him look better.
Yep.
Like, it was crazy. So, yes, come on, Kupp for MVP.
Oh, yeah. A couple people said, what's up, Nate?
What's going on?
Yeah, Sydney and Ash both said, what's up? And Ash said, yes, Kupp. Nick, what do you think, man?
A tough one for me, only because I look at it literally. What does MVP stand for? Most valuable player. And to me, the guy who's been most valuable to his team is Cooper Kupp, right? I mean, it's hard to argue with a Triple Crown winner in receiving. But again, as you know, and again, I know that on a personal level, I've been critical of Aaron Rodgers. But again, for his team, what has he done? He's led them to a 13-4 record. They're the number 1 seed in the NFC. And, despite all the off-field and preseason stuff, he's come in and played, and look where they are. I mean, it's hard to argue. And as we all know, a quarterback having that kind of year, 9 times out of 10 is probably going to win the award. So as much as I want it to be Cooper Kupp, because again, I think he's meant the most to his team in that regard, I'm probably going to have to go Aaron Rodgers. Just because, like I said, it is whenever a quarterback has that kind of a year, they generally, Tom Brady obviously is right up there with his 5,000 passing yards and that sort of thing. So you can make a case for Mr. Tom. But I think Aaron Rodgers in the end wins the award again.
Oh, is that what we're saying? Who wins it at the end? Or who do we choose?
Well, no, he won last year. So I'm saying,
I
think he'll win again. Yeah, because he won last year. But again, I'm going off of history a little bit and how these things usually go.
Yeah.
Again, in my heart, I want Cooper Kupp to get it. I just don't think he will.
I understand. Nathan, what do you think?
I'll go with Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor.
I like that.
Co-MVP.
Co-MVP. Yeah.
I just think that you're always going to have a quarterback that's going to throw for over 4,000 yards, over 30 touchdowns. You're always going to get a quarterback or two to do that every year. With Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor, you won't see records like that. Seasons that those two are having respectively, you won't see that on a regular basis. Like, I think the season that Cooper Kupp's had, I think that shows, one, the trust that they have in him offensively. With the Rams offensively, they have that's their go-to guy. And with Jonathan Taylor, let's be honest. I think other than Jonathan Taylor offensively, like, he's their go-to guy.
Right.
So, with the seasons that they're having, I just don't think you'll get I don't think you'll get anything like this again. I just don't.
I got you.
Like I said, you're always going to have a quarterback that's going to throw for over 4,000 or 5,000 yards, over 30 touchdowns. You're always going to get that in a season. But to see records like catches, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, like, there's not that many wide receivers that can sit there and say, yeah, I was up there with Michael Thomas and Megatron and Randy Moss. There's not many quarterbacks. That's elite
receivers, right?
Like that's greatness that we should be appreciating. And I feel like, honestly, I already know they're going to give it to either Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. And at the end of the day, it kind of lets me know it's a popularity contest. Like, I get it, but
I don't know.
I think it's time to give the award to somebody else that's not a quarterback. And Derrick Henry could have gotten some consideration, but obviously he got hurt. My only beef with that is I feel like with Derrick Henry, I think he's doing something that what Jonathan Taylor did. I feel like Derrick Henry should have got recognition for a little bit more last year and the year before, but
the difference is, and I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers, and I think what it comes down to is in the last 2 seasons, Aaron Rodgers has thrown a total of 9 interceptions, 5 a year ago and 4 this year. That is a level of, and this year he was 37-5, or 37-4, and last year he was 48-5. That's a level of skill and ability in this game where it's passing, the defenses are playing crazy, that I think is just, it's going to get recognized. It has to. And I think what also plays into it is how well your team is doing. Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers' team is the first seed, the bye seed, and without him, they have not looked great. So I think it goes there, but we will see. We will definitely see. He's balling out, but I agree. What I want is a Cooper Kupp. But I definitely Aaron Rodgers, I think. Now, I did see, Sydney, I did not hide your comment. I definitely want to let you talk your stuff because I don't think he's MVP, maybe MVP of your team. Trent Jordan Watt is 9-2 when he plays 60% of the snaps and 0-5 when he doesn't. That's an MVP, guys. I get it, but they're not going to give it to him. They're not going to give it to him. Now, what they will give to him
defensive player.
Is defensive MVP, right? And And look, we've got the people on here: T.J. Watt, Micah Parsons, who has balled out this year, Aaron Donald, and Myles Garrett. Delilah, who's your pick?
T.J. Watt, all day,
all day,
and and he's been crazy this season. It's just been for sure, T.J. Watt, and then he can go and mess with his brother, right? Because that's what they do. I think they're the best thing to watch all day on social media. You want to watch something funny that's just good-hearted. You want to deal with all the craziness out there. Look at 2 siblings razz each other online. It's fantastic. Yeah. T.J. Watt for Defensive Player of the Year. For sure.
Yeah, all day. Nick, what do you think?
Sentimentally, I'd like to see Micah Parsons, but again, TJ Watt actually, if you think about it, only played 15 games and got 22 and a half sacks, whereas Mr. Strahan had 16 games and 22 and a half sacks. So, in theory, the greater accomplishment, of course, is Mr. TJ Watt, and I do think that he deserves it. When you're the all-time, or when you're the sack leader for a year, it shows that you're. I mean, again, and you missed 2 games. Yeah, like I said, he's going to be the key for Pittsburgh in the playoffs, and he's just playing out of his mind right now. Like, you got to love it. I mean, I love good defense, and TJ Watt is the man right now, and yeah, I mean, I think he deserves it. He should win. He probably will. So yeah,
I get it. I agree. Nathan, what do you think?
TJ Watt.
Yes, unanimous. That's probably how it's gonna go in the voting.
Show me your face. Let me see your face. I want to see that on your face. I want to see that guarantee.
TJ Watt.
Okay, gets paid and balls out. Love to see it. Right. It's not something we see every day. I think we're unanimous with the
with that one, right? That one's
TJ Watt thing.
I feel like that's how it's gonna go in the real balloting too.
It might. You never know.
I can see that. Delilah. Absolutely. I can definitely see that.
Oh, Sean shows his face. Here we go.
Well, I'm at work right now. I'm actually not supposed to be doing that.
Show.
That's why I wasn't trying to do that.
Don't show
I
your
understand.
face.
But I want to invite everybody to show cameras. Moving on to the rookie of the year, Micah Parsons was running away with it, but COVID might have stepped in because Jamar Chase balled out in the last couple of weeks. He's definitely benefited from his quarterback. And the sleeper pick, Mac Jones. Mac Jones is in the hunt. So, Delilah, what do you think?
Jamar Chase.
That
kid's has been crazy. Like, it's been beautiful watching him play this season. And just the fact, once in a while you'll see wide receivers come in just ready, right? We know like Randy Moss was ready, right? We talk about these this kid was ready. He just said, I'm gonna go with it, right? Like I like what I've been enjoying watching him and Burrow connect, but this kid just came in ready to go and he's been rolling with it. So yeah, I'm going with Jamar.
No, I like it. Yeah, Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase. Again, I love Micah Parsons. I like what he's doing, and sometimes it's harder for the defensive guy to get an award like that, which I think is wrong. But again, it is what it is. But I think it's hard to overlook what Jamar has done and how he's helped the Bengals get to where they are. Again, and I don't know. It's a tough one, but I think Jamar Chase for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Hi, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy. What do you think, Nathan?
Hello, Wendy.
I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase on this one. I think really, all three had great seasons.
True.
I mean, you could really make a case for all three. But I think Jamar Chase battles this one out. I would say also honorable mention Devontae Smith, Najee Harris.
Najee had a good year. Jalen Waddell had a pretty decent year.
Jalen Waddell.
Jalen during their 8-game comeback.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big part of the reason they were winning.
Yeah, a lot of good rookies in this class. Actually, it's gonna be cool to see how how they grow. So
yep. Hey, Sydney saying Fryer Muth. Yeah, he balled out this year. I don't think people really expected him.
Fryer Muth.
Be good. I gotta go here. I gotta go Micah. Obviously I may be a little biased because I've seen him twice. He's dominated us both times. But Mike, that defense, and another thing I've seen up close and personal, that defense was terrible last year. They were awful. I'm in a church, so I can't use certain words, but our offense was nothing to write home about a year ago, and we put in work on that team a year ago. That defense is completely different from what it is now. Micah, it's all Micah. And so as far as changing a defense and changing a team, I got to go him. But like Nathan said, I can go either way because absolutely Jamar Chase he's unguardable. I'm glad he got over those catching issues. And Mac Jones, I think, is very, very underrated, having over 3,800 passing yards in a Bill Belichick system. We all know Bill Belichick has his running backs, Stevenson, Harris, and Bolden this year, who have been having solid years. But to have Mac Jones still throw for over 3,800 yards, man, that it's really changed the narrative about Alabama quarterbacks. And that's pretty dope.
Quarterback. Well, we had three of them starting this year, right?
Right.
You had Tua, you had Jalen, and you had Mac.
So, yeah, I like that. And I wouldn't be upset if it went either way. And last but most certainly not least, I know where Cowboys fans will go on this, the comeback player of the year, Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, or Joey Bosa. Delilah, what you think?
I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. I know, and I'm not hating on Dak. I know. I'm sorry. And honestly, if Dak wins it, I'm not going to be upset either because the boy, but I'm going to ride with Burrow on this one.
I like it. Nick, what do you think?
JB, baby, JB. Yeah, I'm riding with Joe Burrow on this one.
Mm-hmm.
You got to love it. Got to love what the Bengals have done, what he's meant to that team. Without him last year, they were 2-7-1. This year, he's back. They go to the playoffs. They're a number 4 seed. Let's do it. Go Cincinnati. Joe Burrow.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to touch her. I meant to show all the Burrow people, but I'm ignoring you, Ash. I'm just gonna let you know I'm ignoring you right now. What do you think, Nathan?
I think honestly, truthfully, all three. But I'm gonna go with Dak Prescott. I feel like even though Joe Burrow's injury definitely impacted that team, I think Dak's was a little more tougher because they were winning, and then it kind of momentum kind of went away from them afterwards. Like they kind of weren't the same team without him last year. Both, I mean, I think they've all come back and had an impact on their team, in a significant way. With Bosa, I feel like he should kind of be. He's my honorable mention for Defensive Player of the Year. Burrow, he should be a Pro Bowler, in my opinion. I feel like he should be. And Dak Prescott, even though he had a couple games that were inconsistent this season, he played like an MVP. So, I mean, you could really give it to either one of those three.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely like it. I'm going to go Joe Burrow because Dak had help. That's the only thing I'm going to go against Dak with is that we talked about Micah Parsons. We talked about Trayvon Diggs had a year that most cornerbacks never have. 11 interceptions in a season is absolutely out of this world. And yes, the negatives are definitely there, but I think that defense played a big role because, like you said, Nathan, Dak has definitely been inconsistent. Ash, you don't know if I'm laughing or not. I got the mask on, so. And our good friend Anthony on here, Rookie of the Year, Willie Beeman, always and forever.
From the Sharks, yes.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait till Thursday. You got us hooked on Facebook. I'm blocking you. I'm going to join as different people, all right? You're not going to know who I am. Right? I'm going to join under Cat. We can see. Look,
we know how Cat types. You can't use her.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah, no, I got to go Joe Burrow. I think what he's done, I mean, is absolutely out of this world, man. I mean, balling out like he has. And, hey, Nathan and I talked about this before the show, how we thought the Bengals needed to absolutely get an offensive lineman. But I mean, I like I told you, I'm second guessing that because of the fact that, look, with Chase, if you get your buddy, we've seen it in with Philly with Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. If you get your guy, or and in Miami with Waddle and Tua, if you get guys that you played with like that, I mean, it's sometimes it's a whole different connection, kind of like Rodgers and Adams.
Trust there. Yeah, there's a trust there already, man.
Got to be careful because it will come back. It will come and creep up.
Oh, it definitely will. I mean, we saw he got hurt a year ago, and this year Joe Burrow, the Bengals, led the league in most sacks. He was sacked 52 times. That can't happen next year. You know what I mean? But it's crazy to see how well he's done, even with that. So yeah, I gotta go Burrow. But if Dak got it, shout out to him, man. Got them to the playoffs.
I wouldn't even be mad. I'm not hating on Dak, Ash.
They're a 3 seed. Oh yeah, they're a 3 seed. Yeah.
Don't be a hater, Delilah. I'm kidding. I'm the hater, not you. Remember?
I'm not hating.
So I definitely think, and nobody, we're not hating if we don't pick somebody. We're just, I think we've given all these guys credit, because it's well deserved. If they're in this conversation, they definitely deserve that attention.
I'm not a hater. Stay woke.
You're Sean talking crap.
Nate, you started that, Nate. It's not you, man. You're the one who tried to stay woke stuff.
Just stay woke. Stay woke. Let's go.
I'm not a hater. Stay woke.
Let's go. Yo, so I absolutely love that. And there's plenty more superlatives to go around. Obviously, the MVP, we talked about Derrick Henry in the year that he had this year. The funny thing is, like somebody said in the comments, or one of you might have said it, had he played this full year, he's definitely in that conversation, because I think, would you say, Delilah, he's still like sixth in rushing after being out for most of the year? I mean, come on now.
I honestly would have loved, and that's the whole thing. See, this is the problem with the what if conversations, right?
Right.
It's that, you can't do anything about that. But it would have been wonderful to see him playing, and then also Jonathan Taylor having the season he's having at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been really, really great. It's almost like a passing of the torch too, right? Because Jonathan Taylor's the younger guy. So I don't know. I think it would have been really, really fun. It's unfortunate he got injured, because it would have been really exciting to kind of see like how far the spread would, you know what I mean? Like how far the spread would be. So,
and as an old running back, I definitely love in this passing league that we have running backs definitely coming back into the fold. That's definitely something we need. So shout out to both of them. But moving on, we are going to go ahead. Nathan, I'll leave you in here. We're going to go ahead and go to the. You got something to say, Nick?
No.
Oh, I thought you were doing your hand.
I'm waiting for you to move on. No.
Move on gesture.
What's your question?
Yeah, do we have who's y'all's coach of the year?
Oh, we haven't talked about that yet. Did we talk about that now or after playoffs?
I didn't mean to throw that curveball, so I apologize.
No, all of a sudden you saw.
I know, right?
So who do we think? Who is it? Who do you guys think? Brian Flores.
Yeah,
my coach of the year.
Off the top of my head,
you see what happened.
Maybe you go on Mike Vrabel. I don't know.
Could be.
Mike
one seed.
Mike Vrabel. I mean,
Lefleur. Oh, Dan Quinn. Nope. Tomlin.
Well,
maybe.
See, Tomlin, maybe because of what he dealt with and the fact that they actually managed to squeeze into the playoffs, might get some consideration. I don't know that overall he would be my pick. Not that I don't love Tomlin, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
This year, I think there's other guys you could go with. I don't know. Vrabel, Tennessee's number one. Like, how do you not? Like I said, Derrick Henry was injured for 5-6 weeks, and you still managed to keep the team together. Tannehill played okay. You guys still managed to hold on to the division lead. I don't know. I mean, Vrabel, maybe. I would probably lean towards Mike. I would lean that way.
I would agree. I would lean. I would have said Cliff Kingsbury, but Arizona did fall off those last couple weeks to be the number one seed in the NFC, and then seed. Yeah, that's disappointing.
Number five.
Number five. I would motion Mr. Jar Harwell, but what he had to work with this year, when you lose practically your whole 50% of your career. Yeah.
I mean, he held the team together, in that regard, sure. Gee, good old Harbaugh.
I don't know. The odds are in the favor of Matt LaFleur.
Who's this person?
Reading.
Oh, Ron Rivera? Thank you for the comment, Sean. I appreciate you. Please like and subscribe. Ron Rivera. That's the way it is. Period. The end.
Chico.
Let's go. Yo, we have to move on to the longest running segment on Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. Diversity with Delilah. Yeah, buddy. And she is doing prime time.
No.
That's weird. Oh, I can do that because I'm hosting. All right. I can do that. All right.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Delilah. What you got?
Oh, man. This would, it's crazy because for a lot of my players, especially the really hollowed ones, I get so much information, but on Deion Sanders, it was insane. So
there's a lot there.
So much. It's so crazy. Anyways, as some of you may know he's a Florida boy, right? He's from Fort Myers. He went to North Fort Myers High School, where he lettered and was an all-state honoree in football, basketball, and baseball. Yeah. Because we know that Sanders is one of those guys that could just pretty much play anything, right? In 1985, in high school, Sanders was named to the Florida High School Association All-Century team, which selected the top 33 players in the 100-year history of the high school. So that already, right, and already a athletic prodigy. As we know, he was drafted by the MLB as well, but he actually didn't go to the Royals because that's who drafted him right out of high school. But he decided not to sign with them, and instead enrolled at Florida State University, right, Seminoles.
Bobby Bowden, baby. Bobby Bowden.
Where he played, it was under him, of course. Where he played 3 sports though. So he played football, baseball, and he also ran track because again, 1 sport and even 2 sports isn't enough for prime time. So, so he was also running track. Beginning his freshman year, he started in the Seminole secondary and played outfield for the baseball team. That finished 5th in the nation and helped lead the track and field team to a conference championship. We know Primetime doesn't like to lose or being on a losing team or losing anything. Again, as Nick said, he was coached under Bobby Bowden. Sanders was a 2-time consensus All-American cornerback in 87 and 88, a 3rd-team All-American in 1986, intercepting 14 passes in his college career, including 3 in bowl games. So he managed to return 1 interception for 100 yards and a touchdown, breaking Fred Billinkoff's interception return record by 1 yard.
Wow.
He won the Jim Thorpe Award in 1988. Why? Because we know that Jim Thorpe was back in the day. He played also track and field, baseball, football, and everything, right? So it makes sense that Primetime would win that. He was also a standout punt returner, right? Because we know Deion played multiple positions on football. He wasn't just cornerback, although that's his highlight, right? We know that. He was also a standout punt returner for Florida State, leading the nation in 1988 with his punt return average and breaking the school's record for career punt return yards. Sanders made an interception with 5 seconds left to seal Florida State's 13-7 win over Auburn in the 1989 Sugar Bowl. His jersey was retired by Florida State, and his number 2 in 1995. Moving on to baseball in college as well. While playing baseball under head coach Mike Martin at Florida State, Sanders hit a .331 in 1986. He was known more for base stealing, right? Base stealing and compiling. He compiled 27 stolen bases in 1987.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yep. May 16, 1987, while the Metro Conference baseball and track championships were playing, he played in both simultaneously, right? So he played in both conferences in baseball and track and field. So again, that's just kind of who he is. He also played conference semifinal for baseball against Southern Mississippi. He ran a leg of a 4x10 100 relay, then returned to play in the baseball championship game against Cincinnati. So basically, same day, he's like, all right, ran a rally. Now I'm going to go play baseball. So unfortunately, his relay team didn't make the championship, but his baseball team did win the conference. He signed with the New York Yankees, right? He was selected in the 30th round of the 1988 Major League draft, and he signed with them on June 22nd. He was assigned to wear number 71, and Primetime being who he is, he's like, I don't want that. He wanted a single digit, but they didn't give him a single digit, but they gave him the lowest number they could, which was 30. Pissed off a lot of people on his team. You know, the veteran players, they're like, why are you giving this kid 30? And I guess whatever Sanders wants, he gets.
Deion, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So his baseball career, right? I know it's a football show, but again, this is a multifaceted person. Sanders played a 9-year part-time baseball career, playing left and center fields in 641 games with 4 different teams. Sanders made his MLB debut May 31st, 1989. He hit a major league home run and scored a touchdown in the same week, by the way. Becoming the only player to do so. It wasn't until 1990 where he and Bo Jackson, faced off. They met 5 times on the diamond, and Bo Jackson beat him. After Bo Jackson's 3 homer night, Sanders was like, he's one of the best athletes who ever put on a uniform. So he gave respect, right, to Bo. By mid-July, Sanders expressed that he kind of didn't want to be with the Yankees anymore because he also had to report to, training camp because he also played for the Atlanta Falcons.
Right.
So, basically that's kind of was his struggle, right? Because he was also playing baseball and kind of ran into like his training camp duties. In 1991, he signed with the Atlanta Braves. July 31st, Sanders hit a key 3-run homer to spark a comeback win against Pittsburgh Pirates during the Braves' run to the National League West Division title. Unfortunately, he had to leave to go to the Atlanta Falcons because of his NFL contract.
Yep.
He reworked that because that's who he is. He's basically if they made it into the postseasons, what they did, he can go to the playoffs and then show up later in August to training camp.
Yep.
So best season hit was a .304 for the team. He stole 26 bases and led the National League with 14 triples in 97 games. 4 games of the 1992 World Series, Sanders batted .533 with 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 doubles, 1 RBI, all while he had a broken foot. Anyway, so this is kind of just, again, he just kept kind of balling out in baseball as well. Obviously, he was better. He had a better football career, but his baseball wasn't a slump either. In 2001, he retired from baseball to focus solely on football because, as he said, football is my wife and baseball is my mistress. So in 2001 is when he fully decided to kind of focus on football.
Yeah.
He was drafted by Atlanta Falcons in 1989. He was a 5th overall pick in the first round. His debut, when he finally debuted, he returned a punt of 68 yards for a touchdown because, again, he wasn't just a cornerback, right? He was also a punt returner. Sanders, who spent time with 5 different teams and 5 different NFL teams, scored a total of 6 touchdowns on punt returns, 3 touchdowns on kickoff returns, and returned 9 interceptions for scores. He recorded 53 career interceptions, including 5 with the Ravens when he returned to the field after he retired for 3 years. Right, we all remember that. He left after his stint with Washington football team, and then came back after 3 years.
He returned the punt for us in the playoffs too.
Yeah, so kind of stuff that he did. So basically, with Atlanta, which is where he spent most of his time with, he intercepted 24 passes, including a career high 7 in 1993. 3 of those he returned for touchdowns. In 92, he led the league in kickoff return yards, 1,067.
Wow.
He returned, again, 2 touchdowns with Atlanta. He scored 10 touchdowns, 3 defensive, 3 kick returns, 2 punt returns, and 2 receptions. He is the only Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee from his draft's top 5 who didn't spend his whole career, right, with the team who selected him because he kind of moved around. In 94, as we know, he signed with the Raiders, recorded 6 interceptions, returning them for an NFL best and a then NFL record of 303 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 of his interceptions returned for a gain of at least 90 yards, making him the first player to do this in NFL history. In 96, in a 49ers uniform, because he is a Neon Deion. We know PrimeTime. We know his attitude, which I personally love. I don't mind it. He, with a 49ers uniform, he got into a scuffle with his former, Falcon teammate, Andre Rison. Sanders went on to intercept a pass from the quarterback, Jeff George, and return it for 93 yards and a touchdown while he stared down his whole former team. I don't know if you guys remember that, but he did. As he ran it back, right? He basically stared them down, right? In 94, yeah, he did, right? We remember Sanders was voted the 94 NFL Defensive Player of the Year. In Super Bowl 29, he recorded an end zone interception in the 4th quarter as the 49ers won over the San Diego Chargers, earning him his first Super Bowl ring. 95 was a Deion sweepstakes. Y'all remember that? Basically, everybody wanted Deion.
Everybody.
And everybody wanted Deion, but he ultimately signed with the Cowboys, right? In 95. They gave him so much money. 7 years, $35 million. With a $12.999 million signing bonus because Jerry Jones is superstitious. He doesn't like the number 13. At the time, he was the highest paid defensive player in the NFL. He basically said, though, in one of his memoirs, Power, Money, and Sex, How Success Almost Ruined My Life, that Oakland actually offered him more money out of all the teams, but he chose Dallas because they allowed him to play on the offensive side as well, not just as cornerback. And he felt like he had his highest chance of a Super Bowl win was with them, which he was obviously correct. And he was friends with Michael Irvin, right? Helps when your boy's on the team. So he was like, all right. And that's kind of why he signed, because he wanted to play receiver, cornerback, and also return. They went on to the Super Bowl in 96, right? Versus the Steelers. Sorry, Sydney. He returned a punt for 11 yards and caught a 47-yard reception on offense, setting up Dallas's first touchdown of the game, a 27-17 victory. During his 5 seasons with Dallas, Sanders collected 14 interceptions, returning 2 of them for touchdowns. In 98, he did that big, right, that 59-yard punt return against the Giants during primetime, right, Monday Night Football. Sanders retrieved a low flank kick reverse 5 yards and jetted down the sidelines to put the Cowboys up 31-7. That night, Sanders finished with 226 total yards and 2 touchdowns. Emmitt Smith talks about that time. Basically, he was upset at the rookie that was there, right? The cornerback, Kevin Mathis. He kept dropping balls. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to. And so Deion went onto the field and basically said, get off the field. And he told him, get off the field. Went, did what he had to do. Came back and he's like, told Kevin, he's like, that's how you do it, and takes his helmet off, right? So we know that's how primetime is. He went and signed with Washington in 2000 for $56 million.
Probably still paying him.
Yikes, I bet. And then basically abruptly, right after 2000, he just retired. As probably Nathan knows, in 2004, his friend Joe Zorovich of the Baltimore Ravens was
Please let's not talk about that.
Sorry. I know. It's not my fault that he came back because his boys were like, come play for us.
Was he 37? He was
So he was also friends with Corey Fuller and linebacker, Ray Lewis. And they were like, come play for us. And, he did. He signed a 1-year deal with the Ravens to be a nickelback. Sanders chose to wear the number 37, which matched his age at the time, to preemptively let people know that he was well aware that he was old, right? So he's like, fine, I'll wear this. Against the Buffalo Bills in Week 7 of 2004, Sanders scored his 9th career interception, return touchdown, moving him into a tie for second place with Ken Houston and Aeneas Williams, and behind Rod Woodson with 12 for all-time in statistical category. He finally retired in 2006, right? He was like, all right, I'm done. But again, this is Deion Sanders, 14 seasons, right? He went to 8 Pro Bowls, 9 All-Pro selections. Number 8 in the list of 100 greatest college football players of all times. Makes always top 100, right? Cornerbacks, players of the centuries. He made all those 1990s teams, 2010 teams. His first eligibility of being inducted into the Football Hall of Fame in 2011, he went right in, right? He passed right in. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. He's in the Atlanta's Ring of Honor. And now he's doing a lot for HBCUs, okay, guys? So even though he didn't go to an HBCU, he's still doing a lot for them. And even though he went to Jackson State, he's said multiple times that it's not just Jackson State, right? He wants to make sure that HBCUs in general get looked at again. And he's stealing top recruits left and right.
Yes,
right? We know that. He's stealing recruits left and right. Not only did he take Travis Hunter, right? That was the biggest one. But recently, if you look, he also took the wide receiver, Kevin Coleman, right?
Yeah, number one slot.
So basically, he's like, I'm going to go play there. Why? Because, even though he didn't win like their bowl, he did win the SWAC though, right? So he did win the SWAC. And he also got, the HBCU's versions of Coach of the Year, right? And so, he's doing a lot over there at Jackson State. And I'm going to give him props for that, and I hope that
definitely.
he keeps bringing, elevating HBCUs and making sure that more people are watching. Guys, that SWAC game had I think 50,000 people in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bowl where they played North Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina East.
Yeah.
Right. And so that one had the highest attendance rating of all time, and also people watching. So PrimeTime is doing PrimeTime stuff still. Right. So honestly, kudos to you, Deion. I love you. Keep being snarky. Keep snapping all the haters, right? Keep doing you, Deion. And let's see what else you could do, right? Because he started as a high school coach, right? And then he was like, all right, let me go. And
right. They didn't give him that right away.
No, he earned it. He earned it, right? He went and coached high school first. So anyway, PrimeTime, kudos. Andy, I'm sorry he left your team after a few years.
Right. And he got himself a little Aflac commercial now. Now he's coming big balling. Go right ahead, man. And to keep it going, going from
I love
player to coach to shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. Yo, we thank you so much for that, Delilah. We are going to go ahead and move on. This year, if you have been following Let's Talk Football Roundtable, you have seen our guy, Nicholas Rosario, has been picking these picks. He's been doing these parlays. He struggled most of the year, but lately he has been coming on. The last couple of weeks, he was 7-1. Nick, what you got for us this week?
Well, I was 3-1 to finish that week. So 10-2 to finish the year is pretty good.
Oh yeah,
I would definitely take that. And the biggest thing, as far as playoffs go, a lot of the lines I was looking specifically for this, because as I've told you during the year, I would always get them on a Tuesday, and then sometimes by Friday, Saturday they would change. And so I don't want to be disingenuous when I do this, but when my guide did not come through for me this week with my papers, so I didn't get a chance to get a good look at the early lines. But that being said, what I will do for everyone, because again, I know this is a segment I've done all year, and I do apologize. I will pass those along to Sean by tomorrow, and however Sean wants to do it, whether maybe putting it on the site somehow or putting it on the page.
Do the videos you used to do. Remember when you used to do the preview videos for the show? Do that for me.
Or I can do a quick video that you guys can play. Just because I didn't get a chance to look at all the lines, so I do apologize for that.
Everybody looks forward to your picks, Nick.
I know, and again, I do apologize. I've also, and I won't lie too. On a personal note, and I've been distracted. I did have a death yesterday that I was dealing with. I appreciate it again, and my mind would and I didn't pressure the guy. I'm like, hey man, you got my paper this week. So a lot of things happen, and I do apologize.
I like that you have a guy. I'm not gonna joke though.
I got a guy. Oh no, I got a guy.
It's Tony. It's Tony.
You got a guy.
Two finger Tony.
Everybody has a guy, don't they? Everybody's got a guy.
So funny. I'm sorry.
I love it. King of Queens when he's like, your dad. He's like, Dad, do you have a guy? He's like, you don't have a guy? I have a guy.
Everybody has a guy. Who is that? Who's the Facebook?
David. It's David. That's good. Hey, after 56, you were banned, David. Sorry about that. I still haven't banned Ash yet.
So I do apologize for that. My beautiful children who like my picks every week. But I will make sure I get those up by tomorrow. This way we can have them all for the weekend and we can all make some money. All right.
Perfect. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. And again, I do this because I think one of the things that Sean and I had talked about, even when we first started this show. Whether, betting is always, gambling is a thing, you're gambling. It's always a 50-50 proposition most times. You're either going to guess wrong, you're going to guess right. And so, but the fun of it all is exactly this, is that you guys have really taken to it, and every week you actually listen to what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, that's hilarious because I'm just rambling on about what I think. So the fact that you guys actually appreciate that and love the segment, I just want to say thank you to you for embracing this all year and allowing me to come on here and do this. So thank you. Again, Nick's picks, of course, will resume when the season starts again. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
we will have make sure we have every week our 4 games that we pick. But yeah, I will give my playoff picks. And like I said, I will have those by tomorrow for you guys. Again, my greatest apologies.
I look forward to your videos because they're kind of funny too.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you. Definitely. I try hard. I can dig it.
I can
just
dig
remember,
it. Yeah,
Nick does videos. Stay woke.
Stay woke. You better go ahead and copyright that, Nathan. You better copyright woke, stay woke, and guarantee.
Did you see Shaq was doing that too? He was like, guarantee. Shaq is stealing your catchphrases too, man.
That's a phenomenon. It is a phenomenon.
That's because Nate's everywhere. They probably subscribe to his channel on YouTube.
Right.
You know, they're like, Nate's got.
They're probably up late. Watch
shows every night from Tuesday to Saturday or whatever. Like, 2 a.m. he's doing shows. I don't know.
They're probably watching it like, oh snap!
He's giving He's giving traffic reports at 4 a.m. on the expressways because he's up. Like, Nate's doing all kinds of stuff.
I would watch a traffic report from Nate. That'd be kind of funny.
Nate's like, yeah, it's kind of crowded right now on the expressway. I would avoid that.
Kind of crowded.
Kind of like the paint. Kind of like the paint when Shaq used to be in it.
Right.
Crowded.
Right.
The other way. Yeah.
He's saying it might be. He said it might be clear now,
right?
But it will snow later. Stay woke.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't Shaq. It was Charles Barkley, which is even funnier. He's on his show.
Oh, come on.
He guaranteed the Bulldogs would win. That was his guarantee.
Yeah, Georgia would win.
There you go. Guaranteeing it. Yes. Hey, so we're at the end of the show. Thank you so much for everybody that's been watching us and sticking with us. And we're going to go ahead and go on to the last segment. We're going to try to get everybody out here at a decent time. Again, sorry for starting a little bit later, but we're going to go ahead and wrap this up with one last word. Yeah, buddy. One last word, ladies and gentlemen, where we go ahead and say something that's on our mind. Oh, I love this. One last. I don't see the last comment, so that's as far as we're going to go. One last. Oh, here we go. There we go. My man. God has shot him out. Is that David?
That's David, probably.
Yeah,
David.
He said stupid StreamYard forgot who he is.
Oh, no, that was Sid. That was Sid. That was Sid. One last word. Appreciate you.
Dang, it's hard. See? It all says Facebook user, guys.
Right. Yo, appreciate you, Sid, for being here. Dave, Ash, Anthony, appreciate you for being on. Definitely appreciate you guys for Wendy. Yes, definitely appreciate you guys staying on with us and paying attention and watching. Delilah, I'm gonna come to you first. What is your one last word? I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the comments. I guess my last word is humor, right? Let's have some fun. Let's laugh, just kind of joke, right? I just there's so much seriousness going around, right? Just let's take some time for levity. Yeah. Right, and just kind of have some laughs because I do think that laughter is one of the best types of medicine besides music, right? Because I also love music, so music and laughter for me go hand in hand. And so let's take some laughs. Like I said, like I follow like JJ and TJ Watt on social media because social media is kind of crap sometimes, as we know, right? But they're funny because I have siblings. I don't know, because obviously it's a little harder when you're an only child, but if you have siblings, that's basically what you do, right? You razz each other, and we would totally razz each other on national stage if we could too. So just, have a good time out there, have some laughs, enjoy, smell the roses. Like, it's not now because it's winter, sorry, but get brisk air or something, walk in nature, even, do something like just, but yeah, I think that we do need some levity, and there's nothing wrong with that. So laughter and music in your lives, guys. Do something that, makes you laugh, warm, fuzzy, whatever it is. Nice. Nathan, what you got?
I'm gonna kind of go the different way. reflection. What Nick talked about earlier with his mentor passing away. I think it's a good opportunity to just reflect on those that have had a impact on your life from growing up until now, and just appreciating where you've gotten in life with those that have helped you along the way.
Nice. Nick, what you got?
I think kind of, it's one word is always one of those things, but I think my biggest, I've got to be with Delilah. I laugh. You always want to take time out to enjoy what life has to offer, right? You always want to look at the brighter side of things. Every day we deal with our everyday lives, right? We go to work, we deal with this, we deal with our bills, we deal with our parents, we deal with whatever siblings, we deal with our children if we have them. We deal with all these different things in a day, and yet sometimes we just forget to laugh, or we just forget to smile, or you just forget to think of something funny that makes you forget just for a second about all the things going on around you. And I'm always one of those guys who I love to laugh more than anything else. I think I've probably survived on this planet for 49 years because I laugh. You know what I mean? I always try to be upbeat. I always try to stay woke, like my man Nate. So there's your word. There's your last word. Stay woke. No, I'm kidding. I love you guys. Again, I know I'm getting sentimental, but again, it's one of those things where you always want to be grateful, man. You always want to be grateful. So smile, laugh, love, and live. Right? That's what we try to live by.
Yeah.
Laugh, love, and live. And then again, if you can do all those things in one day, you're having a phenomenal day. So I thank you all again. Thank you for allowing me the beginning of the show to give tribute, and really appreciate you guys. And let's go.
Oh yeah. Yo, wait a minute. Let me check who said that real quick. Oh God, I'm not doing that. Yeah. No, I'm gonna real quick. First and foremost, prayer, because ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you see us doing this or see me doing this, and it might appear difficult to some, but it's difficult in a different way. When you're doing this, I mean, the best part about it is that you're with a lot of people, and you're always with a lot of people, but at the same time, as a lot of it is also trying to manage different, people, personalities, time. There's a lot of stuff that goes into being on these shows, and the fact and seeing y'all back in the comments come back, the crew, everybody comes back. It's definitely a blessing, and it's definitely something that is definitely worthwhile. But it's not easy at all. Doing these shows and just being on is one thing, but then also trying to rewatch and edit and try to do what my intention was, which is to elevate the people that I'm over here with. You guys are phenomenal. Everybody, Sid, Nathan, Anthony, Delilah, Nick, Ash, all of you, Janae, all of you guys, Wendy, all of you that are in the comments listening, going back and forth over and over. It means something that we're doing it. And I appreciate y'all for appreciating us for taking the time out to do this and bring this to you. Like Nick has said, we don't get paid for this. So we're doing this just because we want to, and we appreciate the banter and everything, and we appreciate the open-mindedness and not the bias. I love that we're all coming together and trying to really break this stuff down and figure it out. But my main last word is Super Bowl. The playoffs are here, and it's all for that one thing, the ring and the Super Bowl. And a lot of you, I put up that post all the time, and if I'm talking about it, you already know it's gonna have to come out. This one's for you, Katie.
Oh man! Oh wow!
And everybody gives me the hard time. Oh man, let it go. I look at the Super Bowl a lot differently than a lot of people do. My first memory that I can go back to. Obviously, I've done some things to maybe stop some memories or whatever. But the first memory that I can go back to is Super Bowl 22, January 31st, Doug Williams. That's the first thing. And the Super Bowl to me has always been something that it's a certain. I mean, you work your butt off. We talk about 1-4 with Aaron Rodgers and being right outside the door all those times, and then Tom Brady with 7 Super Bowls. Right? You know what I mean? You work your whole butt for that one moment, and then you get it. And you have these guys, like, it makes heroes out of you. It makes the Trent Dilfers talk, we can have conversations about him, or Brad Johnsons, or Flacco. You've seen what
Flacco.
Like a lot of these quarterbacks, it kind of brings them up. Nick Foles made his whole daggone career just by one game that he's played. What's he done before and or after that?
Chill,
and it's
man.
You're right. Well, yeah, he's chilled off.
That money, making that
but
money.
There's a certain
sure.
integrity, and there's a certain just value that I put on the trophy. And I say it a lot, and I apologize if I'm beating dead horse, but yeah, I respect he won 7, but you don't. There's certain things you don't do. You don't play basketball with your Bible. You don't sit here and use the test papers to wipe your butt. There's certain things you just do not do, and throwing a Super Bowl trophy from one thing to another. I know I'm alone, and it's fine because I dive into this. I have the original full airs with commercials of Super Bowls 2 through 34 saved on my phone.
Really?
I literally watched the airs of Super Bowl 7, Super Bowl 8, the commercials, the whole 9. Fortunately, I gotta say I'm about this life. This is what I do. Right. When I stay up late, sometimes what stops me from doing the work on these shows is watching old football, NFL footage, and Super Bowl footage. So it's just kind of serious, and I absolutely love doing this. So forgive me, because I'm going to continue to put up that clip because it's funny, but it's also it means something to me because I don't know. I'm a little nerd. I'm different with that. But let's make sure we keep them intact. Keep the integrity. Make sure we keep them where they're supposed to be. That's just me. That's just me. Appreciate that. And nothing wrong with bringing the passion. Yeah, I love this. I love all this. And I just hold it in a whole different level. So that's me. Forgive me for taking up the time to do that. But definitely want to say appreciate you guys for joining us. Appreciate you all for being here with us and sticking with us to the very end. It really, truly means a lot. Like, we started a year ago with one person. Listen, I think that was maybe Wendy, maybe us. Anthony came, Nathan came.
Yep.
Janae and some of them, like a lot of y'all started watching, and now we have at least 4 to 5 people watching for the majority of the show. We have guests, we have the whole 9. So I definitely want to say it. We appreciate you guys. Absolutely. Oh, wait a minute.
Thank you.
He is the real MVP. If you notice, I am not at home, ladies and gentlemen. I am at work. Because we made a deal that she gets to sleep in the evenings after school, and I will stay at work and do the show. So, as you've seen, I am not home. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to let you guys go. We so appreciate you guys being here with us. We appreciate you talking this stuff with us, and we cannot wait to come back to you next week. But before I go, I definitely have to take a little time. Delilah, can you please tell the people about what y'all got on Thursday night?
Oh, yeah. The ladies take over. We're back on Thursday. Same time, 5:30 my time, which is 6:30 East Coast and 4:30 Arizona, right? Sorry, because I know sometimes Arizona's is different too, right? Am I right?
Mountain time?
Yeah,
are they Pacific or Mountain or Pacific? I don't know.
It depends where you are, right? I don't know. Anyway, come back 6:30, 5:30. We're gonna have a good time again. Thanks everybody who came and saw us last week. We're super excited. We're actually gonna talk about coaches. Gonna talk about we're gonna talk about some of the firings. We're gonna talk about forced playoffs. We have to, right? So we'll get the women's perspective on the playoffs, right? So it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna bring a new charity, right? As you know, we bring NFL causes. So we'll be talking about causes. And then women in the NFL, of course, we'll be highlighting a few. Kate will be leading that. Ash will be leading the cause coming up. But obviously, we're gonna feed off of that, and whatever topics come up, and hopefully you guys will join us. So
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm telling you, you do not want to miss this. You absolutely don't want to miss this. Each of these 4 women know their game. They are passionate. They are opinionated. They come with facts. And you know what I love? You also come with a cause, something that we are about. You come with people that we might not know. You think diversity of Delilah is great? Wait till you see some of the women that they bring up in this league. There's 12 women coaches in the NFL right now, isn't that?
Janae, we shared that last
the segment
week.
you guys did on Jennifer King was outstanding. I loved it.
We're gonna keep trying to push the ante. So again, join myself, Kate, Ash, and Janae. So good times, y'all.
Definitely. Hey, you know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Sean Spencer, the host of Diversity with Delilah Crespo.
And now co-host of Ladies Take Over. Woo!
Yeah, I'm going to have to add that one in. I like that. My guy, Mr. Late Night himself, who actually will be going on a little bit later, Mr. Nathan Snell. Nathan, what time are you going on tonight?
I'm going on in a few minutes. The Big Nate Talk podcast of the Baltimore Elite is celebrating 3rd place in fantasy football.
Wow.
I gotta recap painfully. The Baltimore Ravens not making the playoffs. The Wizards also have been struggling, and some things are happening in the WNBA. So check me out on YouTube. One Nathan Snell Big Nate Talk podcast. I'm on every Tuesday and Friday. I'm going to have some of these guys probably try to reach out to a couple people in the Let's Talk Football community. I appreciate you. Thank you. Come on as guests on some future episodes. So definitely check me out every Tuesday, every Friday evening.
There you go.
Jump in on there, ladies and gentlemen. You're definitely not going to want to miss it. I expect every one of y'all that's in the comments, hey, go get your popcorn, go brush your teeth, go lay down, and go and listen to my man. All right, late night, he's doing his thing. Hey, and last but most certainly not least, my guy, Mr. Nicholas. I want the smoke, Rosario. Yeah, buddy.
Thank you very much. Domo arigato. I will see you guys next week. That's right. Okay. Well, you don't know domo arigato? It's thank you.
I know what it is. Get out of here.
I'm trying to culture this place up. No, I'm kidding.
There we go.
Thank you very much for another great week. I love you guys.
Good night, guys.
There you go. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, we're gonna go out and pay homage to your buddy, man. R.I.P.
Oh,
absolutely.
Here we go.
Rest in peace.
Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Hey, what's going on, guys? I am Janae Strother. I'm Sean Spencer.
We are back.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta go out and hold up.
Come on. The lion. The lion. New man losing so fine. Kirk Cousins.
All right.